When your children don't respect you, do this instead. 7 powerful ways to regain respect. My dear friends, I want to speak to you today from the depths of my heart. If you've found your way here, it's because you are likely experiencing something that many of us have faced over the years, when the respect from our children seems to slip away. You may be feeling the sting of their words, their actions, or perhaps even their silence. I can only imagine how heavy that must weigh on your heart, for there is no greater pain than to feel disrespected by those you have given your all to raise, to love, and to guide. But let me share this with you. This is not the end. It is a turning point. You see, there is something truly powerful that lies within your grasp, the ability to heal, to rebuild, and to regain the respect that you once shared. The journey may be long, and it may not be easy, but I promise you this: respect can be rekindled. It starts with you, with understanding, with action, and most of all, with patience. Over the years, I have learned that the key to regaining respect lies not in the sheer force of authority, but in the delicate balance of understanding and love. You've spent your life nurturing these young lives, teaching them, guiding them, doing everything in your power to help them become the best version of themselves. But somewhere along the way, something may have gone awry. Perhaps the pressures of their own lives, their friends, their work, their struggles, have distracted them. Maybe it's the result of a breakdown in communication, a shift in the times, or a simple misunderstanding. Whatever the reason, it's important to know that all is not lost. It can be easy to fall into the trap of frustration. We can feel that we're losing control, or that our children have somehow forgotten the lessons we taught them. But my dear friends, this is where wisdom comes in. It's not about raising your voice or making them see things your way. It's about leading with humility, with open arms, and with a deep desire to understand. You see, respect is a two-way street. Just as you long for their respect, they too long for your understanding. They are navigating their own world with its unique set of challenges, and sometimes the walls between us can grow tall and thick. But walls can be broken down brick by brick with patience, empathy, and a commitment to the relationship. It doesn't matter how old you are or how old they are. Whether they're young adults or grown with families of their own, the process of rebuilding respect never truly ends. It may shift and change over the years, but the foundation of respect is something that can always be renewed as long as you are willing to invest in it. In the coming moments, I want to share with you 7 powerful ways to regain that respect. These aren't just tips or tricks, they are lifelong lessons, grounded in love, experience, and the wisdom of knowing what truly matters. Some of these ways might challenge you, some might bring up old memories, and others may bring you peace. But I promise you, each step will bring you closer to healing, to understanding, and to a relationship with your children that is stronger, deeper, and filled with the respect that you so deserve. Let me be clear, this is not a quick fix, nor will it always be easy. You will face setbacks. You will have moments of doubt. But I ask you to stay with me. I ask you to trust the process. Your relationship with your children is worth this effort. It is worth the time, the tears, and the tender moments that will come. Because at the end of the day, what you truly want is not just respect, but a relationship that stands the test of time, one built on trust, understanding, and love. So, let us begin this journey together. Let's not focus on what has gone wrong in the past, but on what can be done today to restore the bond that you and your children share. The road may be long, but it is a road worth walking. Let's take that first step. Part 1. Understand their world. Now, I know the first thing that often comes to mind when our children seem to disrespect us is to think they're simply being rebellious or rude. It's easy to point the finger and blame their actions on a lack of discipline or poor manners. But my friends, let me share this with you. Often when children seem to disrespect us, it's not because they intend to hurt us. It's because they are lost, struggling to find their place in a world that feels foreign and overwhelming. One of the most powerful things we can do when this happens is to step back and try to understand their world. This, I believe, is the starting point to healing any fractured relationship. We are living in very different times than when we were young. The world today is filled with pressures, challenges, and changes that many of us didn't face when we were in their shoes. Technology, social media, school stress, career uncertainties. These are things our children have to contend with daily. It's a world that can make them feel isolated, misunderstood, or even judged. Do you remember how it felt to be young, to want to carve out your own path, to yearn for independence, and to navigate the complexities of the world? Our children, despite the many differences in their generation, experience those same feelings. They are at a crossroads, just as we once were. But their journey is complicated by the fast pace of life, the ever-present eyes of the internet, and an overwhelming expectation to succeed quickly. It's easy to forget this when we're faced with a child who seems defiant, who questions everything we say, or who shuts us out completely. But my dear friends, this is where the wisdom of empathy comes in. It's not just about them understanding us, it's about us understanding them. We must remember that, just as we struggle to be understood in our youth, they too are fighting their own battles. Take a moment to think back to when you were a young adult. How many times did you feel misunderstood? How many times did you think your parents just didn't get it? It's a painful feeling, isn't it? Now, try to see your children through the same lens. What they may be expressing through anger or frustration could simply be a cry for help, a plea for understanding. They might not know how to express their struggles, but their actions might be signaling that they need someone like you, to listen without judgment, to stand beside them in their confusion, and to show them that you are still there, rooting for their success. Understanding their world doesn't mean you have to agree with everything they do or believe in. It doesn't mean you should turn a blind eye to things that might be harmful. What it means, however, is that you are making an effort to meet them where they are, to acknowledge the pressures they face, and to let them know that you see them, not just as your children, but as individuals in their own right. When you start to understand their world, the walls of resentment and frustration begin to crumble, and a bridge of respect and compassion starts to form. Part 2. Lead by example. Show respect. First, there's an old saying, you can't teach what you don't practice. And my friends, if there's one thing I've learned over the years, it's that respect is no different. If we want our children to respect us, we must first show them respect. It's easy to demand respect from others, but it's much harder to give it freely, especially when we feel disrespected ourselves. Yet the truth is, it is our actions, not our words, that teach others how to treat us. Think back to when you were raising your children. What did you want them to see in you? Did you want them to see a parent who was always right, always in charge, or did you want them to see someone who was fair, kind, and honest? More importantly, did you want them to learn the value of respect by how you treated others? Because, my friends, that's how they will learn to treat you, in the same way that you treat those around you. If you want your children to respect you, the best way to start is by showing them respect in your everyday actions. Treat them as equals, not as subordinates. You don't need to agree with everything they do or say, but you must treat their thoughts, feelings, and opinions with dignity. No one wants to be belittled regardless of their age. And believe me, your children will learn a great deal about how to treat you by how you treat them. This doesn't mean being a passive or lenient parent. On the contrary, showing respect doesn't mean you don't have boundaries or expectations. It means that you set those boundaries with kindness, that you express your expectations with clarity, and that you hold them accountable in a way that shows you believe in their ability to grow and learn. You've lived long enough to know that people respond to how they are treated. Think about the people in your life who have shown you respect. Haven't you always been drawn to them? Haven't you always been more willing to listen to them, to hear their perspective, and to cooperate with them? Your children are no different. They are more likely to respect you if they feel that you respect them. But here's the key. Respect is not something you can demand by force. It's something that you must earn through your actions. When you treat your children with respect, when you listen to their concerns, when you make space for their individuality and growth, you are showing them how to do the same in return. It's a dance of give and take, and it begins with you. The beauty of leading by example is that it's a quiet, consistent form of teaching. You don't need to lecture them on respect, you can simply live it. You show them what respect looks like in the way you speak to them, the way you handle disagreements, and the way you acknowledge their struggles. You demonstrate respect by being fair and open, by listening without judgment, and by supporting them through both their successes and failures. So, if you find yourself feeling disrespected, instead of reacting out of anger or hurt, pause. Reflect on how you can model the respect you wish to see. It's not always easy, especially in moments of tension, but it is always worth it. Lead with kindness, with understanding, and with patience. And slowly but surely, you will see that respect begin to flourish again in your relationship. Part 3. Set boundaries with love and authority. Now, I know that when we talk about boundaries, many of us may feel a sense of hesitation or even fear. We've spent so much time nurturing, supporting, and giving our children the space to express themselves that the idea of setting strict limits may seem like we're stepping into the role of the bad guy. But let me tell you this, boundaries are not the enemy. In fact, they are one of the most loving things you can do for your children. They are the invisible lines that help guide your children safely through a sometimes dangerous world. Without them, children can often feel lost or unanchored. You see, respect isn't just about making people feel good or letting them do whatever they want. It's about creating a safe, healthy environment in which both parties can grow and flourish. And in order to do that, boundaries are necessary. Setting boundaries means that you care enough about the well-being of your children to show them where the limits are. It means you are helping them navigate a world that often doesn't have clear guidelines. Boundaries teach them accountability and self-control, which are key components of respect. But setting boundaries doesn't mean being harsh or dictatorial. The best kind of boundaries are the ones that are set with love and understanding, not through anger or frustration. Think of it like a fence around a garden. It's there to protect the plants from harm, not to trap them. You can set boundaries in a way that honors both your needs and your children's. You can establish clear rules without undermining their autonomy. Boundaries should be firm, but they should also be flexible when necessary, allowing room for growth and learning. Don't be afraid to assert your authority. This is not about control, but about providing structure. Your children will respect you more when they see that you are not afraid to step into your role as a guide and protector. But remember, authority doesn't mean dictatorship. You don't have to impose your will with force. Rather, express your expectations clearly and lovingly. And when they cross those boundaries, remind them, calmly but firmly, of what's acceptable and what isn't. Many parents fear that by setting boundaries, they will lose their children's love or alienate them. But this is a misunderstanding. What you will actually gain is trust. Children, like all of us, need to know that someone has their back. They need to feel secure in the fact that their parent is the one who will stand firm in protecting them, even if it means enforcing rules they don't like. A parent who is consistent with their boundaries and who respects their children's growth will always have the children's respect in return. So, my friends, don't be afraid to set those limits. You have the right to expect respect, and part of that is maintaining a healthy environment where respect is valued and practiced. You will find that as you begin to set those boundaries, your relationship will shift. The more respect you show by being firm yet loving, the more your children will come to respect you in return. Part 4. Open and honest communication. Communication is the bridge that connects hearts, and my friends, without it, we risk the erosion of any relationship, especially that with our children. We live in a world of constant noise, distractions, and misunderstandings. But if you want to regain the respect of your children, the first and most important tool you have is communication, and it must be open, honest, and above all, kind. How often do we find ourselves communicating with our children from a place of frustration, anger, or hurt? It's easy to react out of emotion, especially when we feel disrespected or unheard. But when we do this, we are not communicating at all. We are simply venting. And let me tell you, venting doesn't build bridges. It builds walls. True communication is about more than just speaking. It's about listening, truly listening to the other person. It's about hearing their fears, their frustrations, and their desires without judgment. It's about being able to say, "I hear you, and I respect your feelings." And in turn, it's about sharing your thoughts in a way that invites dialogue, not conflict. When we speak honestly, but with gentleness and humility, we open the door for our children to share their hearts with us in return. When they know that we are truly listening, when they understand that we are open to hearing their side, they will be much more inclined to respect our words. But let's not forget the power of vulnerability. Often we think that as parents, we must always have the answers, always know what to do. But the truth is, showing vulnerability, the willingness to admit that we don't have all the answers and that we too are learning, can actually build deeper respect. When we approach our children with honesty and openness, when we tell them, "I may not understand everything, but I'm trying," it shows them that we are human too. It invites them to be more human with us, to let down their guard and communicate without fear of judgment. The most important thing in communication is that it flows both ways. As much as we need to express ourselves, we must also make space for our children to do the same. If we want to regain respect, we cannot keep talking at them. We must engage them in meaningful conversations, ask about their day, listen to their challenges, and be genuinely interested in their lives. It's not always easy, especially when they are in their teens or adulthood and don't always want to open up. But I can promise you this, if you remain patient, if you show them that you value their thoughts and feelings, you will earn their respect. I remember a time when my own children and I were drifting apart. It wasn't until we sat down, with no distractions, and simply talked that we started to find common ground again. It wasn't about solving every problem in one conversation. It was about opening that door of understanding, about expressing our emotions, and being vulnerable. That moment, that willingness to truly communicate, began the journey of rebuilding the respect that had slipped away. So, my dear friends, if you find yourself in a place where respect feels lost, take a deep breath and begin the conversation. Don't be afraid to be honest, to show empathy, and to listen with an open heart. Communication is the cornerstone of respect. It's through these simple, heartfelt conversations that we will rebuild the trust and love that is the foundation of any strong relationship. And part 5. Focus on solutions, not blame. It's all too easy, isn't it? To focus on what went wrong, to point fingers, and to dwell on the mistakes of the past. We've all been there, perhaps feeling the frustration of a relationship that's not where we want it to be. But if there's one piece of wisdom I've gathered over the years, it's this. Blaming and dwelling on the past will never move you forward. What will move you forward is focusing on solutions. Let me tell you something. Regaining respect from your children is not about fixing the past. It's about building the future. Yes, there are moments when things have gone wrong, when both sides may have hurt each other, but harping on those mistakes will only serve to keep you stuck. Children, like all of us, make mistakes. And as parents, we are no strangers to making mistakes ourselves. It's a part of life, a part of the journey. But here's the thing. When we focus on blame, we make it impossible to grow. Blame creates a wall between us and the other person. It traps us in a cycle of resentment, where no one is able to move forward or heal. When your child feels blamed, they begin to shut down, defensive and unwilling to listen. They may feel ashamed, angry, or even helpless. And the truth is, nothing good ever comes from that place of blame. What we need to do instead is shift our focus towards solutions. Instead of pointing fingers at your child for disrespecting you, ask yourself, what can we do differently to fix this? What steps can we take to rebuild trust and mutual respect? Take a deep breath and remember that this is not a fight to win. It is a relationship to nurture. By focusing on solutions, you open up the space for healing. You invite dialogue, collaboration, and shared growth. If there have been misunderstandings or moments where you didn't see eye to eye, acknowledge those, but don't let them be the focal point. Instead of saying, "You always do this," try saying, "Let's find a way to communicate better next time." Rather than throwing past grievances in their face, approach the situation with a mindset of improvement and healing. This will allow your children to feel that they have a role in making things better, which in turn fosters a sense of responsibility and mutual respect. You are not perfect, and neither are they. But that's okay. Perfection is not the goal here. Growth is. Encourage your children to see themselves as part of the solution. Engage in the process together, and make it clear that both of you are invested in finding a path forward. By focusing on the steps you can take to improve your relationship rather than constantly revisiting old wounds, you will begin to see a shift. Your children will see that you are committed to the relationship, not just to being right. I've always believed that in any family there's no place for pride. Pride keeps us apart, but humility and a willingness to solve problems together bring us closer. So let go of the blame. Let it dissolve like dust in the wind. The true strength lies in your ability to rise above the past, to focus on what can be done now, and to take the necessary steps to rebuild what's been broken. A solution-focused mindset will create room for mutual respect to thrive. Part 6. Give them space to grow. One of the greatest challenges for a parent, especially one who deeply cares, is to give their children the space to grow. We've spent so much time nurturing, guiding, and protecting them that it's hard to watch them venture into the world on their own. But my dear friends, let me say this. Part of regaining respect is recognizing that your children are not extensions of you. They are individuals on their own journey. It's easy to fall into the trap of overprotectiveness, especially when we feel that they've gone astray. We want to shield them from making mistakes, to control their choices, and sometimes, in the process, we unintentionally stifle their growth. But the truth is, the best way to show your children respect is by allowing them the freedom to make their own decisions, even if those decisions aren't always what you would have chosen for them. Think back to your own life. How many times did you feel stifled or suffocated by your parents' expectations, by their desire to control your path? Remember how important it was to have the space to make your own choices, to fall and get back up again. Your children need that space too. It's through their own experiences, both successes and failures, that they will learn and grow. And it's through this growth that they will come to respect you more, because they'll understand that you trust them enough to let them become who they are meant to be. I know how hard it can be. You may worry about their decisions, their mistakes, and the risks they face, but giving them space doesn't mean abandoning them. It means giving them the tools they need to succeed while allowing them the freedom to walk their own path. This is an act of respect. It's saying, I trust you to figure this out. I trust you to grow and learn, and I will be here, supporting you, no matter where that path leads. There's a fine line, of course. While you give them space, you must still be there when they need you. You must still offer guidance when they ask for it, and stand by them when they struggle. But remember, they are not you. Their journey will look different, and that's okay. You don't need to control their every move. You need to let them stumble, fall, and rise again. It is through this process that they will grow into the person they are meant to be. As you give them space, you will notice something remarkable. Respect will begin to grow between you. They will respect your ability to trust them, and you will respect their ability to make their own choices. This mutual respect for each other's growth and independence will only strengthen your relationship. So, if you're struggling to regain the respect of your children, consider whether you're giving them enough room to be themselves. Allow them to step out on their own, to make mistakes, and learn from them. Show them that you believe in their ability to navigate the world, and they will come to respect you for it. Part 7. Build a culture of gratitude and appreciation. My dear friends, one of the simplest yet most profound ways to restore respect in a relationship is by fostering an atmosphere of gratitude. In times when respect feels strained, it's easy to focus on the negatives, the things that aren't going right, the hurtful words or actions. But in focusing on what's wrong, we often overlook what's right, and in doing so, we miss the very opportunity that can bring us closer together. Gratitude, when practiced consistently, has the power to heal wounds and transform relationships. You see, when we express gratitude to our children, we are acknowledging their worth, their efforts, and their humanity. It's a quiet but powerful way of showing respect. You may think, why should I express gratitude when they're not respecting me? But let me tell you, gratitude is not about rewarding them for their behavior. It's about nurturing a mindset of appreciation, no matter the situation. Start with the small things. Thank them for their presence, for their effort, for the good that they do. A simple, thank you for helping with that, or I really appreciate you taking the time to listen, can go a long way in rebuilding the respect that may have been lost. Often we get so caught up in the big issues, the disagreements, the disrespect, that we forget to acknowledge the positive things they do. Yet it is these little moments of appreciation that help shift the tone of the relationship. They remind both you and your children that there is still goodness, still love, and still value in the relationship. But gratitude also works in reverse. Just as you express gratitude toward them, encourage them to express their gratitude toward you. Create a culture of appreciation within your home. When respect feels lost, this culture of gratitude is like a balm that soothes the wounds. It reminds both sides that there's a foundation to build on, even if things have been rocky. You see, the more gratitude you cultivate, the more your children will begin to reflect that in their own behavior. Gratitude nurtures respect. It transforms the way we see one another. So, my friends, don't wait for everything to be perfect before you start expressing gratitude. Start now with the smallest things. When your children see that you are grateful for them, not for what they do for you, but simply for who they are, they will begin to feel valued. And when people feel valued, respect comes naturally. It may take time, but little by little, the foundation of mutual respect will grow, rooted in appreciation and love. Conclusion. The journey of mutual respect. As I close this chapter, I want you to know that the journey toward regaining respect is not an easy one. It's a road that may be long and winding, but it is a road that is well worth traveling. I understand the pain of feeling disrespected by those you've loved and cared for. It's a deep, personal hurt that can make us question our worth and our place in the world. But let me tell you this, respect is something that can be rebuilt, even after it has been lost. The key to rebuilding respect lies not in forcing others to change, but in changing how we approach the relationship. It's about understanding where they are coming from, showing them respect first, setting boundaries with love, communicating openly, focusing on solutions, and giving them the space they need to grow. And above all, it's about building a culture of gratitude and appreciation that lays the foundation for mutual respect. Remember, the road to restoring respect is not about perfection. It's about patience. It's about committing to the process, no matter how difficult it may seem. It's about showing up every day with a heart full of love and a willingness to try again, even when things feel broken. Because in the end, respect isn't a one-time achievement. It's a journey. One that requires constant effort, but one that can lead to a relationship that is stronger and more fulfilling than you ever thought possible. There may be moments of doubt. There may be times when you wonder if the effort is worth it, but trust me, my friends, it is. The reward is not just the respect you will receive, but the relationship you will rebuild, a relationship that is filled with understanding, empathy, love, and yes, mutual respect. And in that, you will find something even more precious than respect alone, a bond that stands the test of time. So take a deep breath and take that first step. Remember, it's never too late to start. It's never too late to earn their respect back. And in doing so, you'll find that the respect you give them will also come back to you tenfold. Be patient, be kind, and know that this journey will lead you to a place of healing and deep connection. Thank you for walking this path with me. May your relationships flourish, and may respect grow between you and your children, today and always.